Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good
Welcome to
morning.
Mindset. Hey, Dr. Thyonne, how you
Good
doing today?
morning. I'm doing good. I just got back in again, so all ready for another day. It's a little cool today.
It is a little cool today as I was getting ready to hit the road, heading to California. Guess what I found?
What? Oh
My
my God.
Raiders spot.
Talk about throwback. Oh my
I
God.
couldn't help but stop. So the Inn has become the Raiders hotel here in Las Vegas, and it's the last hotel before you jump on the 15 if you're headed to California. So
Okay.
this little spot. So I said, that's right. So then that means it's the first hotel, when you're entering coming into Vegas.
Exactly. Exactly. I didn't even realize did the Raiders go to Vegas?
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
that's been going on since
I will
like
never, I will
that's
never see the Raiders as anything except Oakland.
exactly, but that's the whole big movement that was happening, and that's why
Right.
even when it was now, Sterling was like, "Mommy, I know you're going to open an office up in Vegas." It's almost like here we go. So perfect for our topic today because literally it was he said it out there, and I said, maybe I should. And so talk about manifestation because then some things happened that I didn't realize were already in place because of that affirmation of, yeah, maybe I will. That it's like when it happened, it's like, well, I didn't plan to go to Vegas. It's like, but yeah, I did. I said that I was okay with it.
And we'll make sure everybody knows. So Dr. Money is from the Bay Area. So the Raiders, that's their original town. They didn't try to give them to LA. They didn't try to give them to so many people. I'm like, oh, they're never gonna leave Oakland. They're the Raiders. They're the Oakland Raiders. But now I guess they did. So
And we
now,
have some heated debates because some of my Oaktown family and friends are not so thrilled with this Vegas move. And so they make sure to let us have it online. So we feel all that passion.
That's right. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. Well, then, you got to love your Raiders. The
Of course.
Raiders, that's the team. And now talk about raw manifestation. Gosh, that was sort of like where you were born is now where you live. So, or the things you love coming to life right there where you live. So that's what we're going to talk about today is some raw manifestation. But I do want to recap some of the things that Shalon talked about yesterday. Shalon Douglas, the innovation queen. Oh my gosh, she was amazing. And just really having people take those tiny steps, I think is the main point that I love taking away from her, because it was one step at a time, one sit up at a time, one stand up and try at a time. And I don't even like to use the word try. I like to say one do at a time because we don't try anything. We either do or we don't, as Yoda would say. There is no try. There is just do, so we do it or we don't do it. So with that, I don't know why I have this in my throat. There we go. Little morning workout with no coffee. But with that, talking about how we can get back to our raw, natural self and manifest that which we were born to be. That is such an amazing concept to think that we actually each were born into this world for some specific purpose. And I know so many people struggle with this purpose thing because if you weren't born just playing the piano like Beethoven when you come out or something, you think, why don't I have that special gift? Why can't I'm not going to be able to manifest anything because I don't know what my special thing is, Dr. Money, business and money, Dr. Thyonne, that your thing is around story. I don't know what my thing is. How can I manifest something if I have no idea what I'm trying to manifest? And I know that is a struggle point for so many people, but I'm here to tell you, you're manifesting something every day because that's just the nature of it. And when we talk about raw manifestation, we're actually talking about, again, that thing that's in your gut. What stirs when you do something? If you're out and delivering Post-it for Postmates or for Uber or whoever you're delivering for, and you meet a person and they say something that triggers. They say, oh yeah, I was just reading this comic book. And you're like, comic book. Oh, I love the comics. Oh, okay. That's the start of finding that raw thing. What is it that you love about the comic books? Is it the characters? Can you draw? Are you an artist? Is it the reading of them? Are you, do you want to read and do reviews of comic books? Is it that you like the way the characters speak in them? Should you be writing scripts? Should you be writing comics? What is the thing that draws you to the thing that you really like? That's how you begin to find what it is your purpose is. And as you start to uncover and figure those things out, that raw manifestation that we're talking about is just going to continue to appear. And in your life, as you encounter people, as you meet and you hear things, you need to listen for those points that light you up, those things that just put a little glimmer. It doesn't have to be a big wah, aha moment. It can just be a little glimmer. Oh, I see a hotel when I'm leaving Vegas that says the Raiders. I grew up in Oakland. I love the Raiders. Maybe I'll stop there to do the show. Oh, this is interesting. When I leave Vegas, it's the last hotel. When I come to Vegas, it's the first hotel. Whoa, this is the first and the last. So putting little things together, what does it mean? Should I have an office here? Is this something I'm going to be investing in? Doesn't mean you have to figure it all out. It's not an aha moment all of a sudden. It's about paying attention to those little things. Pay attention to the little things. And they're going to just keep popping up. These things are manifesting because there's something bigger that Dr. Money is about to do. And so the small things, paying attention to the small things, the baby steps, just maybe it's time to crawl a little bit. Crawl and just pay attention when you're crawling. Just kind of looking around. Babies, when they crawl, they're just kind of like, just discovering. They're discovering what that next thing is going to be. They're deciding, am I going to stand up and shock my parents today and make them giggle and laugh? And then sometimes I think intentionally they stand and then everybody's like, oh, they're standing, walk. And then they're like, I think I'm gonna sit back down. Because that was pretty cool to watch them get all excited about me doing that one little thing. Let me figure this out. That's what you got to do. One little thing, look around, explore your surroundings. That's how you figure it out. You don't have to figure it all out in one day. And Dr. Money, what have you discovered about your surroundings and how you're finding manifestations coming to life? I think you have some stories of things that have been manifesting out of the raw paying attention and sitting in your stuff and then finally standing up and saying, okay, I got to move forward. And then what's happening?
It's so true. And I think that part of it has been, we talked about journaling, and journaling has always been a very important part of my process. But I also do something that I call is business journaling. And if I have an idea, a concept, I'll keep a diary of business kind of concepts. So I'll write out the summary of what I think it is, what it looks like, do a quick couple of bullet points about why I'm not sure if right now is the right time, to pursue it, but at least so that I have it and I can go back. And then what I was thinking when you were talking about a lot of where people might be searching to understand their raw interest and talents, when I really reflect, a lot of the things that have become my life, really, they were the things that I played as a kid. Because I was part of a musical family, I was in my high chair dancing. So that dancing, I was always dancing. I started playing piano at 3, later violin at 9. I was always around music, the vocals, but that was just a thing. I was putting on shows, and my cousins and family will tell you I was never shy. I'd be putting on a show. So we had a production, entertainment production. And if I wasn't playing entertaining, then I was playing teaching, and everybody got an opportunity to be the teacher. But when it was my turn, my friends would be mad because we're like, we're supposed to be just playing. Why do you have us really reading books and really doing the work? Like this is like real school. And I'm like, yeah, we're playing real school. And I have real books. We're going to work on these real books. And so they were like, somehow, like, she's not getting the concept of the play part of this. And then, the last part was business. I played business, and everywhere I went with my mother, I was capturing information. In fact, that's how I got caught making my fake credit cards for my business, because I had the monopoly money. I knew 10 key before I knew what that meant. My dolls were my customers. Every form that had ever been around in any business, I had that little form somewhere organized as part of my business, And one day I was out shopping with my mom, and it occurred to me that these stores had credit card applications. And I was like, my business needs to accept credit cards. So let me go home and so I spent the afternoon working on creating my own credit cards, and, index cards, plastic coated them, carefully took a straight pen to pinprick every letter and number. And then when I could put a paper across and get an imprint, I figured it all out. And so when I think about, luckily I stayed connected to those things, that childlike innocence and curiosity along the journey. So I kept getting nudges whenever I tried to go to work for a company and just think I'm going to settle in and get comfortable. I'd be kicked out. I'd be kicked towards the destiny. So I think when people are trying to understand the raw form, the problem is that they're only looking at the outcomes. But what you have to do is why it's so important to read biographies of successful individuals, because they begin to give you the breadcrumbs of where they began and what it looked like in the beginning. It's great to know that Oprah and other multi-billionaire business successes in our country exist, but it's impactful to understand where they began. How was their childhood? What were the influence of not only their parents, their family, their close mentors and advisors, and how did they have to participate in their progress? Because as with anything, raw talent, yes, you have that, but it has to be developed. And so if you don't take any time to develop it, then it's sort of like, in the Bible, we talk about the talents, right? The wise man traveling away, giving his servants one talent, 1, 2 talents, 1, 3 talents. And each of them did something with the talents. But the servant that buried his 1 talent because he didn't have any more, was admonished harshly, for being slothful. How could you waste the one, who knows what else would manifest if you work with what you have. And so when you think about that, and you think about that in business or in life, when you hit a fork in the road, stop for a second. Take an assessment. Think about what you do, what brings you joy, what you do for free, and how that makes an impact on others in the world and around you. That begins to reveal some of the clues, possibly. And then there's assessments, formal assessments that can be done to help you further unpack that and understand then what that correlates to in the world and where you might find yourself, most impactful, and doing what you love in such a way that it feels like it's never work. I don't work. I get to help people every day. I get to help companies, become better. That's not work to me. And those that are wise enough to recognize that, that's my business. They want to pay me. They're happy to pay me because they're also getting the impact of what it is we're fostering together in their organizations, and that's the name of the game.
And I think you really hit on something with that. It's sort of like, and there's plenty of things out here that say, do what you love and the money will follow. And people don't really believe that, but it absolutely is true. When you're finding yourself doing that thing that you love, there will come a way for that money to manifest and become a part of what you're doing. Whether that means you've created a company of your own that fills a gap, or whether, and that could be a nonprofit or a for-profit. So many people feel like, I just want to help people. I just want to do a nonprofit. You don't have to do a nonprofit to help people. My business is not a nonprofit, and I help people every day. I just worked with people, with healthcare professionals yesterday in helping them to understand their self-care and the importance of self-care. So healthcare professionals are automatically, majority of them, I won't say everybody, but the majority of them are automatically empathic, which means they take on the feelings of others. And so I was talking with them about their natural empath ways and having them consider being more compassionate and sympathetic instead of empathetic right now. Because with COVID and the losses that have occurred, I look back at the first session that I did for this group way back when COVID first started. And it said the United States has 1.5 million cases and 93,000 deaths. And so I wanted to update my work to work with them yesterday. And I was blown away. Over 111 million cases now. I'm like, oh my God, how do we go from 1 to 111 case, 111 million? It was just exponential growth there. And over 240,000 deaths. It went from 93 to 240,000. It's tripled. So to think about healthcare professionals dealing with that amount of loss and grief just in a small amount of time, that's something you can't impact, because that energy that you're taking in from everyone will drain you, will totally drain you. They're already in a profession that drains them. So just me being able to share this information, people were breaking down, just really saying that was important to them. It meant something to them. They weren't taking care of themselves. They thought they were, being positive and, hey, we're going to be here for everyone. Yes, I'm a great healthcare worker, but they weren't being there for themselves. So taking that moment to assess, to figure it out. And it wasn't like I gave them anything that was rocket science. That really, it's a simple thing to say, take care of yourself. But it helped so many people. And I get paid to help people like that. And I appreciate doing it. And I felt good because I was sort of like, wow, something that I could say could change somebody's life, where people were sharing stories about how they thought they were grieving, but they're actually in depression, because I taught them the difference between the two, and that they could go and ask for help, because I said, ask for help. Those are the kind of things that are life-changing moments for some people, but just what I love to do. Find that thing that you love to do. And the other thing, Dr. Money, that I think is really, really interesting, talk about early life manifestation. So when I was a little girl, I was directing and giving people words to say, we're going to do a play. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Then you're going to do this and you're going to do that. So I always had my friends doing plays and acting out things. At the age of 6, I started playing the piano. And at the age of 9, I started playing the violin.
Wow.
How crazy. Did we just manifest each other into our lives?
Wow.
Teaching and sharing and being musical, because I had a musical family too.
Right.
So I just find that every time we come together, there's always some kismet moment where it's sort of like, oh, we have that in common too, where we don't even know. We don't even know. You don't even know how the universe is unfolding for you.
Exactly.
Unfolding in your favor. Just because you're you.
Yes. And it's been that daily, in the beginning of this whole Jamaica trip go away was just I felt so exhausted, and I knew it was exhausted, and I knew it was beyond. It was in the danger area, and I kept saying, I've got to go and I got to heal myself somehow, because if I don't, I was concerned about lack of self-care for too long, what the next manifestation could be. And I really didn't want, I lived a very healthy, and to me, it was, again, recognizing that irrespective of what seemed to be a recurring set of challenges, that, what if this continues further? That's no excuse to remain out of balance, right? So it's like, at some point, I've got to go, oh, well, it just is, but I'm going to step off the merry-go-round for a second and take care of myself. Best decision on the planet, because, and I was really forced to do it because I'm thinking about, my son. I lost my mom at a, early age, and that was heartbreaking. And I want to be here for my son, but I want to be here healthy. And so I started envisioning, what do I want to look like at 90? What do I want to look like at 100? What kind of lifestyle do I want to have? And so then what does that mean as relates to dietary, just lifestyle changes that need to be put back under that discipline so that I can maintain balance. And so that Jamaica thing was just, oh my goodness, I just got to find and hear the communication with source. But what it blossomed into was, as soon as I was obedient enough to do that, things that seemed like they had been so far in the future, it's almost like we've just been waiting for you to get so tired that you get to this point that you surrender and allow us to take over. We got you. Stop.
Right.
And now I'm sitting there going like, wow, the magnitude of the blessings that are right here manifesting. One after, like every day there's a new conversation, just like, well, boom, there, boom, 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 boom. It's like, you're right in that energy field, that manifestation. But had I not done the work to be ready for this intersection, it would happen, and
you wouldn't have been ready. You wouldn't have been
ready for it. I'm sorry, I'm throwing a straw at somebody because their background noise is, of course,
right.
Picking up on the show. It's like, are we trying to play whatever you're playing on the show?
Yeah. But I think that's a great way for us to even sum this up, because Shalon talked about it yesterday. Write it down. We talked about it from the day one. Write it down. We have to write things down, or put the notes in your phone, or record it. Recording it, even though I do encourage people to record because it's something easier to do, it's not as good because you don't always go back to those recordings. But when you're writing things down, you could write something on a note card, a mantra or something like that, and you can carry that around. And when you pull a wallet out, it's going to fall out to remind you. Those recordings may not play accidentally to remind you. So
right.
But you've got to do things where the universe helps push you a little bit. I was reminded yesterday from the conversation about writing it down, because I've been so overwhelmed with opportunities that I'm kind of back to that's why I came up with I'm just going to lay down, and then I'm going to sit, and then maybe I'll crawl. That's why I came up with all those different steps, because that's how I started feeling. I was sort of like, whoa, when I was in Jamaica, I was kind of in my own groove. I did my own thing. I had a little fun and all that, but now it's like raining on me, and I'm not, I'm ready to receive the shower and the rain. But at the same time, I'm sort of like, do I really want all this? Wait a minute. Oh, I know I asked for a lot, but wait, I didn't know. But what I did last night was got my big chart board out, and I just started writing the things down, all the opportunities, what I have to do to just accept them and things like that. And the funny thing is, I literally have to just accept them. It's not like, oh, I have to write this proposal, or I have to do this. No, people are calling me and just saying, can you do this? How much?
Yes.
And I'm like, let me, instead of just saying yes, because I'm thinking, I don't want to fill my calendar. It's too many people calling at one time.
Okay. That just means expansion. Guess what? That just means capacity. That's why when I'm dealing with companies, it's like capital, capacity, and customers, because, sometimes they shift in all three ways. And, as you were talking, there was something else that I wanted to mention before I forgot. So I had dinner with Anna Jackson last night.
Oh, great. How's Anna? I missed her.
She said, make sure that I tell you how
I didn't get to see her show that she spoke on a couple of weeks ago.
Right. So she said, say hello. She's here at her home in Vegas, and it was lovely. And it was just an amazing experience. I'll tell you offline some of the things that happened and it literally was just as simple as this. We had just gotten back from the hotel. My cousin was working on, so I was racing, trying to, get back to the computer. And then Ardrey was doing a patient treatment. So we're like, well, what are we going to have for dinner? Let me see what's in the refrigerator. I haven't been in the refrigerator so long, so nothing that I would want, they've already. So I'm like, I guess I'll take out some white fish or whatever. And then I'm up in the bathroom says, well, call Anna, because I want to call her again, with the passing of her husband and all of that stuff. And I call her, and she's like, hi. And I'm like, hi. She said, are you back? And I'm like, yes. She said, come over for dinner tonight. And I was like, well, that's
Yeah.
Anna lives 5 minutes from me.
Wow.
In Vegas. So, I mean, literally. So I'm like, are you kidding me? Yes and yes.
And you told her you had company. I have company with me,
and
though.
she's like, yes, yes, even better. Just come on over. And so she had company and she had friends over. And so we had a lovely dinner. But then the business thing that I had mentioned that we were going to work on, mind you, and I was feeling like, well, I don't want to push it on her. She's like, hey, she starts telling me, yeah, because Dr. Money and I, we get ready to do this whole business thing with her. And I'm like, well, so funny that you mention it because it's ready to go right now. She says, what do you mean? I'm like, it's ready, like right now. Like it's finished. It's ready.
Wow. And that is how raw manifestation works. It just comes right to you. And just, I mean, when I'm thinking about this, it's actually these connect the dot moments that just really are amazing. And I know that this is how it works when you allow the universe to unfold in your favor, but it still just baffles me sometimes. And I don't understand how you meet one person, and I do understand, and I don't understand. It's systemic and all of that, but you meet one person and they meet one person and then this and and before you know it, everything intersects.
Right.
And you're like, Anna,
Yeah.
that, this one, how do you know them? Did I introduce you to them? No, I didn't introduce you. How did all of our paths cross?
Exactly.
In this crazy, huge world.
Yes.
And we all end up in the same space to do something incredible.
Exactly. That's just
because
like
God wanted us to do something incredible.
Exactly.
It was already preordained.
Yes.
And we just had to surrender, as you said, and follow the path.
Yeah.
And even when you get to the fork in the road, you get to the fork, you look to the left and you look to the right and you choose. I'm going to go this path or I'm going to go that one. And it's still going to unfold the way it's supposed to, because the paths will be a fork here, but some kind of way, even if you're going up a hill and up a mountain, and you went all the way there so you could get back to this intersection point. So remember, we've got to do that. We've got to let our raw manifestation appear. We have to just sit, pay attention to the little things, observe, write things down. Accountability partner, get the accountability partner, get an accountability partner, because you can say, but I saw this little bird and he flew over here and did this. And I think that means I'm supposed to go and sell everything I have and give to the poor. And your accountability partner is going to say, that's some bull crappy. That's not what that means. We need to pay closer attention. Now the little bird flew over there and everything, but did he tell you that?
Right.
Did where are you getting this from? Your accountability partner is going to help keep you real.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the accountability partner may say, actually, what I think it means is you need to manifest more money so you can give everything away.
Sure.
Assess what you can get, and then you can give it away.
Absolutely.
I'll get that. But have somebody in your corner. That's so important. Accountability partner, write it down, pay attention to the small stuff. You guys are going to be, I'm excited to see what people write back about what has happened since they've started doing that.
Exactly. It makes all the difference, for sure.
So I'm going to let you sign off. I know you guys need to get on the road, and it's right around 8:30, I think. So
yeah. So it's up to you. We only have a couple minutes. I can either let you do the closing and jump off, or
we can close together. Hey, Dr. Money, have a fantastic drive. I will see you maybe tonight, more likely tomorrow. And
tomorrow for sure.
I'm going to be texting you where to meet Byron.
Exactly. So you're right. If you come down, I will see you tonight. Okay. So yeah, that's still a possibility.
Yes. Yeah. So safe travels and enjoy the route as you go. Make sure that Dr. Oliver pays attention to all the desert as he's looking, so he can see if there's any bush or something we need to be pulling up and making into businesses too for healing. Okay. All right. And then tomorrow we're going to see Greg Sneed, he's gonna go over some financial literacy with us in terms of understanding financial terms, maybe, or he's going to talk about financial literacy because we all need to be up on that as well. Have a fantastic drive. Have a fantastic day, audience. And we hope to see you tomorrow on Thursday on the Money and Mindset Show with Dr. Money and Dr. Story, the Story Genius.
All right. Have a great one.